Hey, good day, everybody. Do you know how to trade candlestick patterns really, really well? We've got some really good setups today that I want to share with you as we get into On the Radar. Hey, this is Dennis Wilburn, the Active Trend Trader. If this is the first time you're joining us on YouTube, I please ask you to, one, subscribe to us, hit the like button, leave some comments. If you want us to be able to take a look at some stocks you want us to look at, we put on this On the Radar every Wednesday or Thursday, and then post it to the YouTube channel. Well, that's a good sign. It means one of my alerts has gone off. And let's let that finish up. Oh, it's always exciting to hear the alerts go off because something good just happened. I would just want to thank everybody who's joined us on YouTube, along with our Active Trend Trader members and people who just, basically want a good traditional technical analysis of what's going on with the markets, plus a couple of stocks that may be setting up for some good significant moves like we've seen in the past. Hang on to the end. I may have a tip on how to trade BITO. That's the new Bitcoin ETF. So let's go ahead and get going with today's session. There we go. So first of all, let's take a look at the S&P. What's going on with the S&P? The S&P is looking like it wants to fall. Could we be having a fake out breakout? We sure could. Basically, what happened is S&P broke out above this past level of resistance from the past high, bunched up, put in it was not a reversal signal on Monday. However, today's isn't exactly a reversal signal, other than it's really close to being kind of a dark cloud, not a dark cloud, I'm sorry, a evening star type of pattern, dropping to the downside. There's the close of the day. Yeah, things are looking pretty good. Let's see what happened. Yeah, the market's basically closed mixed for today. So what am I looking on for the S&P to do? Now that we've had a break, I'm looking for a couple of things. One is wait for the momentum to shift, which it's almost shifted. That's the TSI momentum. That's the True Strength Index. If you'd like to see some tutorials on how to use the TSI index, I think is one of the best indexes that has been developed for showing the change of momentum. And if you want to know why, just leave a comment down in the comment section. And once it turns over up from the upper reversal zone, oftentimes it basically predicts or shows where a reversal is going to be. When you combine it with other clues, it definitely becomes a very powerful, almost predictive type of indicator. Throw that in with that, the market forecast, which is a indicator that's only available on the Thinkorswim platform, but it was basically been developed by a couple of traders back during the Invest Tools days. Excellent for showing both very short-term and micro-term momentum, and the green line is what they call the intermediate term momentum. Once it turns down and starts to break down below this red line here, which is plus 80, oftentimes that's is indicative that we are going to have more of a sell-off down to the other side. The market forecast, exceptional tool for basically showing us when it's time to get in. Once price actions crosses back above the 20 line down here, oftentimes that is a time to say, hey, I want to trade to the upside. As you can see, it's very predictive. When did that happen? Happened right in there. And combined with the TSI, excellent trade opportunities. So that's what we've got going on with the S&P. Look for a drop, maybe further down. Where might it fall to? A couple of that's a really great question. I'll show you how to determine that. I want to go here, grab the Fibonacci's. We had a pullback from here to here. Oops, Fibonacci, excuse me. I'm going to get rid of this fib for the time being. Let's go grab the Fibonacci extension. The Fibonacci extension, I'm looking for symmetry of move. So we had that pullback there. I can stretch that back up to the top side, given that this is now a potential strong swing high. Where could we anticipate it pulling back to? There are two places. One, the 78% retracement, three of them actually, the 100%, or at extremes down to the 1272 extension. That would be a symmetrical move of this pullback here. Why are we interested in symmetrical moves? Is the stocks and ETFs tend to move in symmetrical patterns, or certainly within the boundaries of a Fibonacci. And so when we know where those other boundaries are, because there's a lot of other traders that are watching these, it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that other traders are looking and saying, okay, well, when this gets to the 78%, which is 450, or the 448, or the 445 level, that's when prices may turn back around. Does it mean it's going to run all the way back up to here? Not necessarily. However, if the underlying trend is up, that is a pretty good potential that the trend that preceded the pullback will continue. Just some basic technical analysis rules that you can basically count on. So let's go ahead and look at what else is going on. I like the Qs. The Qs, oh, absolutely beautiful candlestick today. As you can see, I get excited about candlestick. I did some mentoring under Steve Bigelow on candlesticks, and actually picked up one of his certificates on being a technical candlestick trader or an analyst. And so yesterday was kind of a spinning top type of candlestick, which is a sign of indecision. Today, we pushed above the price of yesterday. That's bullish. However, then later on in the day, we sold off. And most of the sell-off happened later in the day. So now we have a what? A shooting star at resistance with the potential of going where? Well, with the potential of pulling back, that's where we need to pick up a Fibonacci here. Let's see, what Fibonacci do we want to pick up here? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. Remove. There are a couple of different ways we can approach this. We can approach it from this level down here. I'm just going to do a straight fib on this to give you an idea of where. So if we get a 50% pullback, that'll put us down to right here, $369. So how do I want to trade this? Well, one, my momentum hasn't totally shifted to the downside yet. So I want to be aware that as long as it's not crossed on the TSI, I want to be careful. However, now that I have a shooting star, which is a bearish reversal signal, any type of a retracement into today's upper wick would give us the opportunity to get into a trade to the downside. Now, what trade would we want to get into? Well, you got a couple of options there. Is one, you can do an option and look, where might it fall to? Well, if it falls down here to the 78, that'd be $372. So from where, if you pick it up at the midsection, let's give you a dollar figure here. We picked it up at the midsection, bought an at the money put, let's say, about there, 381, and it dropped to there. That's 73. So that's $8 worth of move. And if you have a 50% or 60%, well, let's just go with a 50% delta on your put option. That means that as it fell, you would pick up, if it fell $8, you'd pick up at least $4. But again, we know that as prices do fall, the delta gets larger, or not as they fall, the delta of the put would get larger. And so that's, and that would be a good downside target right here, at least the 7 to 8. There's a natural level of support in there, as we see from that breakout and that retest there. So that'd be a good, pretty good size downside target. I like that. So shooting star, midsection of today's candlestick, and that would open you up to a, like I said, what would I go out? I would go out probably the monthly in January, correction, in November, or the monthly option in November for the opportunity. You could also anticipate, hey, we could also just drop that amount over a week to 2 week period. And so I would still try to give it at least a week on the other side of a potential 2 week move for your strike month or your strike date on your option. IWM was kind of taken to the cleaners today, but this is one of the things I wanted to show you specifically, is this move right here. Yesterday, we had price action move all the way up into the IWM move all the way up into past level of resistance. This is where sellers came in before. TSI had not crossed over yet, but it was really looking weak. Market forecast has not crossed over the 80 line yet, but it's looking really weak. Once it crosses below that 80 line, I would be wanting to look for trades to the downside. With our autopilot trading members, what we did in active trend trader members, we actually took a trade in TZA as prices on IWM moved on up into this level here. Also did a autopilot option trade where we did a put option on IWM. Got into that. Let's see what IWM we bought. We did some basically targets of opportunity trading on an option. We jumped into the 19 November 228 put. So it was just about, slightly at the money, 228 put. And we bought that for $3.62. And then we actually closed. Let me back the way I want it. And then we closed part of that. We closed part of that position. One at 45, and this all happened automatically. That's what I like about the autopilot trading system. We closed part of it at $4.85, so there was a 33% gain. We closed another two contracts at $5.90. That was 62% gain. And now I'm holding on to my last and final contract. And if I hit 100% or better, I'll go ahead and close that out. Or I have enough now where I could just, basically let that cook off, because it may drop between now and the 19th of November all the way down in here, which would give us probably a 1, 2, 3 bagger, if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And so really liking that down to the downside. If you want more information about what we're doing with active trend trading, you can join us as an autopilot trading member. And it gives you basically seven setups every week for potential trades, 2 in the leverage ETFs, and 5 stocks that we look to trade every week. So IWM looking pretty good. So now let's go ahead and let me give you just an indication what I would do now. If I was looking to trade IWM, what would I look for? I would look for a pullback into today's midsection of today's candlestick and a reversal intraday down to the downside. If I break below the 50, I may fall down a little bit further. What's my trajectory to the downside? Again, grabbing, because this is in a trading range, I anticipated getting back all the way down here to either 220 or 217, 218 from where it's at. So that'd be another anywhere from $3.65 to $5 drop. Pretty interesting. So let's see, what stocks did I want to share with you today? I want to trade it. I want to trade and show a couple. One is our buddy Tesla. Tesla, folks, is going to continue to be a beast. I am not buying Tesla now. We don't want to do that. But what we can't, because it is way overbought, way overextended on momentum-wise. However, we did do a breakout with earnings, and it is gapped up. And you saw the deal where one of the car rental, I think it was one of Hertz. Was it Hertz or one of the car rental areas companies? So they're going to buy 100,000. I think it was 100,000 vehicles. That's a lot of the of Tesla. I think it was a large amount. It was a large amount. You can double check to see. Let's go take a look real quick before we Tesla. Well, dadgummit, I was right. I remembered correctly. Hertz announced that they will buy 100,000 of the electric, Teslas to fill in their fleet. So that's pretty remarkable. It took Tesla over the $1 trillion mark. So that's, as you see here, here's what I'm looking at right here. Right there. So that's pretty cool. So Tesla, so let's say we want to own Tesla. Well, what do we got to do? We got to wait for a pullback into towards this breakout area. Now we have a nice little gap up. So we'll be paying attention to that. Again, it gets back to let the momentum shift and then wait for the momentum to shift again. One of the things, if you want to be a better trader, one of the best things you can do is learn how to wait. Learn how to wait. So that's what we've got going with Tesla. Show you a couple of other ones. These are some potential downside picks. One downside pick is Facebook. Facebook is getting its face ripped off. Excuse me, but I mean, it is. It is now down below the 200-day moving average. Yeah. And it looks like we may be in for a fall all the way down to 293, and if not further. Do we short it right here? No, not necessarily. Why? Because you're looking for a pullback up into the moving averages. If you can coach yourself and mentor yourself to trade close to the moving averages on not exceptional patterns, you really will help your trading out a lot. So that's that. The last one thing I want to highlight for you today is BITO, BITO. Again, this game, I highlighted this, I think it was last week, saying, hey, you don't want to buy it yet, but oh, by the way, it is not your typical IPO, which is absolutely true. This basically is the ETF of Bitcoin futures. And so normally on an IPO, you are not availed the opportunity to look at price action because you don't have any price action on anything having to do with in particular stock. However, with this IPO, we do have a track record, and the track record is just very simply the futures on Bitcoin. So as you can see right now, what's going on with Bitcoin futures? Well, they're heading down. They're heading down. As you can see here, TSI is moving down. Market forecast is moving down. And price action is moving down. Where might it get interesting? Well, it might get interesting on Bitcoin futures around the 56,234 level, or around there, because that's where we had congestion or consolidation previously. And then we bounce from there. So the trick in learning how to trade BITO is wait until we have a setup on the futures, which is /BTC, depending on the platform that you're trading off of. And so that's the little hint. I will continue to update us on what's going on with BITO, because I think that Bitcoin and the crypto is a space we want to be in. Here's my, what I'm going to be doing with this. I'm going to be waiting for pullbacks, and then I'm going to be buying just a few shares of BITO for, guess what? My grandkids. And then let's see what happens going forward. Now, I'm going to buy them for my grandkids. I could buy Bitcoin for my grandkids also, since you can buy partial positions in that. And so I'm evaluating which would be a better way to go. I like doing BITO for a couple of reasons. Here's the first major reason. One is it has weekly options. That's a positive. A lot of the other Bitcoin, ETFs or the crypto ETFs don't have options attached. So it has weekly options. That's good, because once I get a position built up enough in BITO, I can then turn around and sell covered calls. And I know my grandkids would really like having that, getting that kind of an allowance on a weekly basis. But of course, we're not going to give it to them right now, because my granddaughter's like 9, and the youngest granddaughter is like 18 months. And so, yeah, I'm not going to give them the money now. But anyway, so that's all we've got for today. I hope that little trading tip on BITO, I hope you can find that will be help you make some money in that individual entity. And with that, we will basically get on back to, we'll get back on and just say good evening and get this posted up. One of the things I want to highlight for you, though, is that if you're looking for a great trade journal, my son Brandon basically wrote these trade journals. They're a top seller on Amazon. There is one that is 6x9. The other one is 8.5x11. I will put a link to where you can find these on Amazon down in the description. And again, I'm very proud. They have been a top seller on Amazon for well over, almost the 2 years since we first put them up. So again, well, it's over there. Journals by Brandon Wilborn. So aloha. God bless everybody. Have a great rest of your day.